At first look, I love this painting. The colors are just delightful. I can see through the water, the spray up above the crest of the wave, and as it tumbles down, I just love it. But I kept looking at it from across the room, and there's something so definitely wrong with it, and that is the two shapes of green are so identical in their shape, in their outer outlines of color. And the wave that's over on the right hand side is a little too light. It's the same color as the inside of the wave. And that won't prove to be true because that's double water at least. So I'm working on changing that, making it better. I walked across the room from my painting and started analyzing it, the things I liked and didn't like. And didn't like was this wave that's coming down. It's already crested and falling over all the way down to the bottom of the wave. And I had it the same greens as this translucent part of the water. And that's not natural, it's not the way it would be. So I'm using these analogous colors to go into that wave and not exactly dull it down. I don't want to do that, but to darken that part of the wave. And the way I like to do that is take a pastel flat onto the paper like that, and then look away from my painting over to my reference photo. And instead of looking at the paper, I'm looking at the reference photo and just letting my hand travel, moving back and forth to create little tendrils. The pressure of my hand, as well as what's underneath in the way of pastel, will change how it appears on the paper. So if I want to start right here and come over and maybe get some thickness to this wave and then change it back down. And that gives a more natural look and feeling to the water that's cascading rather than trying to draw every little detail on it. And it doesn't matter that what I do does not look exactly like the reference photo. The reason for that, of course, is because if you take a photo of water a half second earlier or a half second later, that water has moved to a different spot, looks different. So where exactly did the camera capture it? Doesn't matter. Just let your hands go. Right here I need a darker, thicker spot, and so I'm pressing down a little bit harder, in fact a lot harder, just pressing it down into the paper. And here I have this too blue, so I can come into it with some of this green. It's kind of a muted green, but when I put it on top of that blue, it just becomes delicious. It's a funny word to use about your colors, but that's the way I feel. I want to come up here. This is I would call it an emerald green. I think it's probably a schminky, so it's super soft. So right up in here, I want a little bit more definition because it's closer to the top. It hasn't fallen down and massed itself, become a mass of water yet. It's as well. It's different from the colors over here when it's on top of all of these that have been muted, and so it has a little glamour. Is that the word? This needs to stay neutral. So down in here. And even though I love that royal blue kind of effect, it doesn't look as natural to me. So putting this green on top of it. And then this wave has fallen. So I'm just going to let it trail around lightly on the paper. When your pastel gets a smear of the color underneath it, rotate it or wipe it off. It's coming on down very nicely. I put a little bit of that. I'm not sure if this is different or not, but let's see what happens. Yeah, I like it. That's almost a muddy violet. Is that a word? Is that a color? Well, on top of all these other colors, it creates its. I'm going to go up into here. This is the outline of the wave, so I want to just put some volume right there. I have the white splatters there. I build those up very slowly with several layers, and so I'll go back over this part with some more of it. And this is all of this little work right here. It doesn't take long to do it, but what it does is it lets this part of the wave become the star, the hero, the focal point. I need some of this I want part of that line of the back of the wave to show. Oh, that's good. That's really good. But I'm going to put it down just a little bit. That's good, putting that in. I think I will do that with this one. A little bit in here, just by rolling, just this way. Taking the end and just rolling through it. That one's too hard to get it in. That one's not working great. Let's try this one. It's short, harder to do, but it works. That's much better. And get a little of this green off in places. And I want let me try this one. And a few little spots of color popping through. It's whatever you see that will tap it down a little bit so it recedes into the background. It's whatever you see that will make the wave more believable. I've had these Jack Richardson greens for so long. Put them in the back of the drawer because, after all, I don't do greens in portraits, and not too much anything else. But wait, because look how helpful they've been to me now in doing this seascape, the beautiful greens with the light shining through that wave. It has come out, really come alive, and all because of the greens that I thought I didn't like.